Hi, Richard Ortiz here with the Fighter's Voice. Voiceography at its finest. Every fighter has a voice, and so does Mr. Abel Sanchez, the one and only trainer. How do you feel to be here in Fresno?
It feels great, man. They've been very kind to us. Hospitality has been great. Now that I know a little more about the plight here in the Central Valley, I'm so happy to be here.
You know, there was a comparison. I heard a comparison from the Fighter's Voice radio show. They were comparing you to the late, great trainer Emmanuel Steward on just your tactics, on how you prepare your fighters to power up. Because you've always trained for knockouts. How does that make you feel to be prepared to such a great legend as Emmanuel Steward?
Just to be mentioned in the same sentence with him is an honor and a privilege. He was one of a couple mentors that I had as a coach, watching him work his fighters. I think that I developed a lot of things that I do because of him. We worked together probably in 4 or 5 fights. I was in training camp with him a couple times. I worked corners with him. I worked cuts with him. So it was somebody that didn't say much, but what he showed you has been immensely helpful in my career.
You know, earlier I heard you talking to Kilo the Kid Madera, and I know he was in Triple G's training camp, your training camp. Yes. How did that training camp go with Madera lacing him up against Triple G? You
know, he and his brother are very good, very good fighters. They're up-and-coming middleweight, judo middleweights, but they have the work ethic that is needed for them to succeed and to be great. And if they continue that way, we're going to be hearing from them being the main events and press conferences like this.
You know, I agree with you, and you know I can't let you go without talking about Triple G. A lot of us here know that, I don't want to say he walked away, but he should have been awarded the fight. I had it myself, 8-4. After watching it again, I had it 7-5 on a bad day. Going into that, did you have any take that the judges would sway the way they did because of it being Golden Boy in Las Vegas?
Well, before when they mentioned the judges and when Tom Loeffler mentioned the judges to me, I voiced my opinion on Miss Bird because she's had some very controversial decisions in some big fights. I said that I didn't like her. I said that I would rather not have her, but powers that be ended up having her as a judge. But I knew that there was going to be some kind of controversy. The one that I was disappointed with is actually Don Trella. Don Trella gave Canelo the 7th round, which was Gennady's strongest round, and that's what made it a draw, really. But hopefully it happens again in the middle of next year, and we can really decide who really won that fight.
You know, since I have you here, I'm going to have some fun here. Doesn't he remind you of a modern-day Julio Cesar Chavez? And also, remember the fighter Costa Azul?
Well, believe it or not, when I first got Gennady, I showed him the tape of Julio Cesar Chavez fighting Edwin Rosario. Oh, yeah. And I asked him if he gave me 3 years without interruptions and allowed me to do my job, I could have him fighting like Julio, attacking like Julio, and he'd be the best middleweight in the world, and nobody would want to fight him. And so actually that was my model, yeah, to try to mold him that way. The difference is I think that Julio wasn't as big a puncher. He was more of he'd wear you out, where Golovkin has a little more power and has been able to knock guys out with a body shot like Julio throws.
You know what? Enough said here on the Fighter's Voice. And a late happy birthday to the one and only, the greatest trainer ever to help fighters lace them up. It's a wrap here in Fresno, California. Thumbs up for Richie.